Millfield was a town with secrets, and the townsfolk preferred it that way. Nestled between thick forests and a winding river, it was a place where everyone knew everyone, but no one ever talked about the old funhouse on the outskirts of town. It had been abandoned for years, a relic of a failed amusement park venture from the 1950s. Most people avoided it, claiming it was haunted, but legends persisted about a clown named Jester Jack, who supposedly never left the funhouse. He was rumored to be a sinister figure who enjoyed terrifying and tormenting anyone foolish enough to enter his domain. Teenagers, as they are wont to do, often dared each other to spend the night in the funhouse. Few accepted the challenge, and those who did came back with stories of eerie laughter, moving shadows, and a feeling of being watched. No one ever stayed the whole night. One crisp autumn evening, 5 friends, Tom, Lisa, Eric, Sarah, and Jake, decided to take the dare. Armed with flashlights, snacks, and bravado, they made their way to the dilapidated funhouse. The sun was setting, casting long shadows over the twisted metal and rotting wood. "Are we really doing this?" Lisa asked, her voice tinged with apprehension. "Come on, it's just an old building," Tom said, trying to sound confident. "There's no such thing as haunted clowns." They pushed open the creaky door and stepped inside. The air was stale, filled with the scent of mold and decay. Their flashlights cast beams of light that danced across faded murals of cheerful clowns and colorful circus animals. They set up camp in the main hall, a vast room filled with dusty mirrors, funhouse props, and old carnival games. The atmosphere was thick with an unsettling quiet, broken only by the occasional creak of the old structure. After a while, they started to explore. Eric and Sarah wandered off to check out the old hall of mirrors, while Tom, Lisa, and Jake stayed behind to explore the main hall. "Look at this," Jake said, picking up a dusty, oversized clown shoe. "Wonder who wore this?" "Probably Jester Jack," Tom said with a smirk. "The infamous ghost clown." "Don't joke about that," Lisa said, shivering slightly. "It gives me the creeps." Suddenly, a burst of eerie laughter echoed through the funhouse. They froze, exchanging nervous glances. That was just the wind, right?" Lisa said, her voice trembling. "Yeah, of course," Tom replied, though he didn't sound convinced. Meanwhile, in the Hall of Mirrors, Eric and Sarah were having their own unsettling experience. The mirrors distorted their reflections, making them appear grotesque and misshapen. As they moved deeper into the maze, they heard soft giggling that seemed to come from all around them. "Okay, this is getting weird," Eric said, turning to leave. But the exit wasn't where it was supposed to be. Every turn led them deeper into the maze. Back in the main hall, the remaining trio heard footsteps above them. They shone their flashlights toward the ceiling but saw nothing. "Maybe we should just leave," Lisa suggested. "We can't just leave Eric and Sarah," Tom said. "We'll find them and then we'll go." As they made their way to the Hall of Mirrors, they noticed the air growing colder. Their breaths became visible, forming small clouds in the air. The laughter grew louder, more mocking. They found the entrance to the Hall of Mirrors and stepped inside. Their reflections stared back at them, but something was off. In the dim light, they saw a tall figure behind them, dressed in a faded clown costume with a grotesque, painted smile. "Jester Jack," Lisa whispered, her eyes wide with fear. The clown raised a hand and waved slowly. The friends turned to run, but found themselves separated, each one facing a different path. The mirrors seemed to shift, disorienting them further. Tom stumbled into a small room with no mirrors. Instead, it was filled with old clown props, hats, oversized shoes, and a cracked porcelain mask. He picked up the mask, and as he did, the door slammed shut behind him. The laughter was deafening now, and Tom realized it was coming from the mask itself. "Join us, Tom," a voice whispered from the shadows. "Stay with us forever." In another part of the maze, Lisa found herself in a dead end. The mirrors reflected her terrified face 1,000 times over. In the reflection, she saw Jester Jack standing behind her, though when she turned, there was no one there. She screamed and ran, only to crash into Jake, who looked equally terrified. "Where's Tom?" Jake asked. "I don't know. We need to get out of here." Eric and Sarah, meanwhile, had found each other but were no closer to finding an exit. They turned a corner and found themselves face to face with Jester Jack. His eyes were dark pits, his smile unnaturally wide. He held out his hands and the walls closed in around them. The next morning, the townsfolk found the funhouse eerily silent. The 5 friends were never seen again. The legend of Jester Jack grew, and the funhouse was left to rot, a place where only the brave or foolish dared to venture. But sometimes, on cold autumn nights, You can still hear the echo of distant laughter and the whisper of voices calling from the shadows, inviting you to join them in the funhouse where the last laugh always belongs to Jester Jack,